This call is now being recorded.
Raisoni sir.
Yes, sir.
Can we start?
Yes.
Okay. I welcome Professor Harshad Raisoni sir from MIT School of Architecture, MIT Edit University, Pune. Professor Harshad Raisoni has 12 plus years of experience significantly in the areas of land management, urban renewal, urban design, infrastructure planning, environmental planning, and architecture. He is currently head of the Department of Planning, having specialization in urban and regional planning at MIT Edit University, Pune. He is also working as training and placement officer, IQAC in charge, BOS member, as well as alumni association member of MIT. His research has been published in several international and referred journals, and currently he is researching on developing a strategic model on urban poets. He had completed his Bachelor of Architecture from Srinagar College of Architecture, Pune, and received his master's degree in city planning from IIT Kharagpur. He is also pursuing PhD. His professional experience in various reputed offices such as Ajay Chaudhary and Associates, Delhi, then Chani Architects, Pune, HCP, DPM, Ahmedabad is creditable. As an academician, he worked at VPSOA Baramati from 12 to 17 in capacity of head of the department as well as principal in charge. The enriched experience in many urban scale projects, residential, healthcare, and interior projects has made him a versatile academician. So I welcome Harshad Raisoni sir again,
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
and I hand over to Harshad Raisoni sir. We are lucky or fortunate to have such experts for our guidance and motivation on the topic urban or town planning processes and role of urban or town planners in the development of cities or town. So I thank you for his presence. He is a good expert in the planning field. So we will be listening for about an hour for his lecture. I hand over to the Raisoni sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, and thank you, everyone. I think there is a long connection with Vidya Pratishthan's, or say overall Vidya Pratishthan as such. I was there for 5 years, and it is a pleasure to be part of it again through lecture series, joining the Department of Civil Engineering and at Vidya Pratishthan's Kamal Nayan Bajaj Institute of Technology and Engineering. So I thank Professor Dilip Patil and the Department of Civil Engineering for inviting me, and I extend heartfelt gratitude for the same. Without, I think we can start for the presentation.
Yes, sir. You
So I'll
can
share my screen.
Yes, sir.
Just a second. So I hope I am audible clearly.
Yes, sir.
Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I think we should talk about what is exactly of the field of town planning. What are the aspects in the urban planning field, and what is going to be the role of planners? The government of India, through Niti Aayog, through Gati Shakti, and all these infrastructure departments, as well as through Amrit schemes, then smart city schemes, then Hriday schemes. So all these schemes, government is actually very pro to the urban planning scenario, infrastructure development in Indian context, and there is going to be very much need of planners. So we need to understand that what is the role of planner. We need all these technicians either through civil or architecture background, and we need to understand what is the field offering to us. Okay, so that's how the presentation is based upon. So the content, basically, it is we will cover the what is happening in India currently. Okay, what is the scenario? ancient planning in very brief idea that we had a legacy of ancient planning. Then what is urban planning? What are the emerging trends in the urban planning? And what is going to be role and scope of planners in future? Okay, that we will cover. Patterns of city development, maybe language of maps, scales, procedures, and if time permits, RP and DP. So let's understand that how urban planning functions. Okay, so whenever we have urban, say we have cities or urban agglomerations, then there are so many opportunities in terms of services, in terms of jobs, etc. So that's why people tend to migrate to the urban areas, and there are opportunities, and people tend to shift from rural areas majorly or semi-rural areas to the city areas or to the urban areas. Then what happens that when there are more people but there is a less amount of land in the urban scale, and that is why the land prices increases, and obviously you tend to have very costly homes in the urban scenario. So that is why there is less affordability for the people, and they generally tend to live in the substandard housing or substandard substandards, we can say slums. Obviously in slums or in substandard housing, there is a poor living condition, there is lack of infrastructure, there is lack of water supply, electricity, drainage, and all those things which are required to have a better life. Too much burden on the city infrastructure, that is very important. So when you have too much of population, it's a Delhi scenario for us, that we see overcrowded public transport, we see overcrowded roads, we see so much of traffic, we see environmental pollution in terms of river or canal pollution. We see so many things which are related to and which in turn which cause a burden to the city infrastructure, including water supply and so on and so forth. Everything is very much stretched upon because of very high population, but less amount of infrastructure and less amount of land which is available. So what is our role? So here the role of urban planner comes, and there is a need of planning all these roads, city infrastructure, everything into a development plan or into a regional plan, uh, by envisaging, say, next 30, 40, 50 years, that what is going to be the scenario in the cities. So what is the role of planner? It is to distribute the whatever available land equitably. That word is very important. Equitable distribution of land and services too. So everyone should get a better land access, and everyone also should get better access to the services. Now what is the result of this? When you have better city infrastructure, when you have better housing availability or better jobs facility, what happens? Again that cycle continues, and again you have so many opportunities in the urban areas, and you again expect more migration from the rural areas. This is very typical scenario in all the Indian cities, especially all the metro cities, including Mumbai, Pune, Delhi, Bangalore, every city. So I hope it's very clear that how Indian cities functions. Now, what is the scenario before independence? What was the scenario? Almost 10% population was living in the urban areas, and almost 90% was in rural areas. Scenario today, almost not 30 now, right now it is 36% of the urban population living in the urban area, and almost 65 to 70% of the population living into a rural area. And what is going to be the future? 50% urban and 50% rural, and maybe 2050 will have a more urban population and a less rural population, I would say. So all rural areas will also tend to convert into semi-urban or urban areas in near future. So that is going to be the urban area will surely increase in the future. Now we need to understand what are the problems of urban India. Okay, we are very much aware of all these issues, like we have defective road systems, somewhere there are bottlenecks, we have narrow streets, and suddenly we have wider streets. Majorly cities, no, the roads are unplanned. You have still older roads which are functioning into especially the peri-urban areas or in the fringes of the cities. Development of slums and squatter settlements, very known scenario. Haphazard location of industries. you need to understand how the industries nowadays have came into a city boundary, so it is affecting the citizens a lot. Okay, there are so many cities which are polluting the overall urban scape. So non-compatible land uses, when you don't have plans, then it is non-compatible. Maybe a cinema or a very busy Mangal Karalay which is placed near the school, or it is placed near the hospital. So there is a silence zone and there is a noisy zone. Actually, they exist together. So that's called as non-compatible land uses. Heavy traffic congestion, very known scenario to us. Inadequate open spaces, parks and playgrounds. The percentage of open spaces in respect to population or with respect to population is very less in Indian context. Inadequate public amenities. We have faced hospital scenarios in COVID situation that there are so many hospitals which are which we don't have access to a better infrastructure or healthcare facilities. Polluted cities, noisy cities, unhealthy cities. Nowadays, healthy city is going to be the present, and it is going to be the future of the cities. How your cities are healthy, how they promote health of the citizens. So that is going to be the future of the cities. Lack of essential amenities and uncontrolled development in and around. So basically, what it generates overall, it actually generates unsatisfactory citizens. So when we have international indices of say happiness index, or we have HDI, so it actually gives you score not only based upon the GDP, but it also considers the happiness quotient of the citizens, how citizens are happy. If they are not happy, your cities must be lacking something major. And through these images you will understand that how our cities are they have so many issues of right from traffic or transport issues, traffic management issues. We have solid waste management issues, how our rivers are getting, or the nalas are getting polluted. uh, Slum is very typical scenario. It's illegal encroachment over the government properties majorly. So when you have encroachment over the government properties, there is no access to the green spaces or public amenities which were supposed to come on that particular plot. Okay, and I think this is very typical scenario. In the last image you can see that there is so much of disparity between the society. You have very rich people and very poor people. So those disparities needs to be managed into a city infrastructure. You can see there is so much of load over the transportation issues. All public transportation, they are inadequate, or they are sort of lacking the thing. There is forest devastation. You are majorly polluting the environment, the river bodies, the air, and the land also simultaneously. So these are very prominent issues, and there are much more. Maybe each city may face very different issues. Like Mumbai will face a mangrove depletion issue, something like that. Do we expect such kind of future where there is a there is a jungle of flyovers? You have layers of flyovers upon each other. Do we call this as a city, or do we call this as an infrastructure development? There is a question. So are our cities better to live? Can we define what is a better city? Can we imagine our cities? एक second, please. Can we imagine our cities to live, like this? Can we have better green spaces, well-planned infrastructure roads? Can we have access to all the natural facilities? Can we have infrastructure in terms of public transport, very well placed? So, can we imagine our cities like this? So, what is generally a transition of the cities? Generally, the towns or cities, primarily they are rural settlements. Because of the population increase, the job opportunities, it becomes semi-urban, and then semi-urban area gets converted into urban areas. So we need to consider, we need to recognize, and we need to pay attention to how the city is basically growing. And if we tap in the initial stage itself, we can control the development in expected manner. That's what I can say. So here the role of urban planner comes. So do we had some kind of urban planning in ancient India? Yes, we are quite aware about Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, all these towns, uh, which actually initiated the kind of urban planning. We have so many Vishwa Prakash, Karma Prakash, Mansara Shilpa Shastra, study of soils, and various types of town plans described in various kind of books and everything. Okay, so we need to understand the different types of patterns. Okay, this is example of Mohenjo-daro. This is Chanakya's Arthashastra, which actually conveys that how different amenities and places needs to be placed in a city. So palaces becomes in the center, and all uh, other, like you have traders, you have residential areas, you have treasuries, ministers, which are staying in an very well planned manner. You can see a plan of Mohenjo-daro city where the palace is in the center and all the facilities are planned in a gridiron pattern. So I'm not going into all these details, but depending upon the site conditions, these are the ancient Indian plans. In terms of Padmaka, there are various names, Dandaka, and so forth. So which actually defines the segregation of roads, it defines the segregation of classes into a city. And it also has a boundary, very definite boundary, a precautionary measure or a safety measure. And then you have a different hierarchy of roads. So what is basically urban planning? In today's scenario, we need to understand what is exactly urban planning or a town planning. We need to understand primarily how it got evolution in Indian context. So it basically starts with British regime. So when Britishers came to India, they actually came in the phase of industrial revolution. Okay, that is the background for it. So when industries started growing in United Kingdom, they actually sort of pressurized all these colonial settlements, including India, uh, to basically where they deprived us in various terms, and they started putting industries and various types of raw material they used to pick up from India. And they understood all these industries needs workers to be need workers basically, and they don't have enough kind of residential areas, or they don't have appropriate residential areas with them. And what happened exactly in industrial revolution phase, all the workers started accommodating near the industry, they started living near the industries. And there was a lot of issue with the management of those people. They were living in scanty areas, they were living in very small houses, which actually had plague and all these pandemics at that particular time. And there was a sheer need of Public Health Act of 1875. So they tackled the problems of ventilation, air. So what we see today as norms, that you need some kind of setback, you need some kind of ventilation to the houses, or you need some kind of rules, regulations, bylaws. They actually started sort of assimilating into the Public Health Act. So long row back to houses in monotonous grid, it was formed. This public health was only related with the say light and ventilation or basic very basic services, but actually it got evolution, it got amended into the Housing and Town Planning Act of 1909. So proper sanitation and all those facilities were included. Again, few amendments: the Housing and Town Planning Act of 1999, then Town Planning Act of 1925, which actually consolidated all previous acts. And that's a very basic act in Indian context, the Town Planning Act of 1925, which actually included bylaws related to housing, services, etc. In Town and Country Planning Act, now town and country, these both words have been added. Town is basically urban and country means rural. So urban and rural, these two words have been added into 1932 plan, which actually widespread into the Indian country overall as such. And which kind of thought that we should not only plan urban areas, but we also need to plan rural areas. So we had very first act of Bombay Town Planning Act, that is 1954, which was meant for Bombay province. So upon Bombay province was part of Maharashtra as well as Gujarat. And then finally, after Maharashtra and Gujarat got separated, then MRTP Act for Maharashtra was established. It was one of the pioneer act. MRTP Act is basically Maharashtra Regional and Town Planning Act. Okay, so this MRTP Act of 1966 is very much important. It is pioneer in terms of town planning, and this act was more or less, we can say, imitated or copied by other states, and they changed a bit as per their requirements. So that's how the town planning in Indian context got evoluted. So we can see on the left side area, this is part of Bombay province, which actually included part of Maharashtra, part of Gujarat, and part of current Pakistan. So it was a total Bombay province, which actually, after independence, two countries got separated, and in 1961, Maharashtra and Gujarat got separated. Okay, so Gujarat has its own act based upon MRTP Act, that is Gujarat Urban Development Act, and Maharashtra has separate act. So that's the history of urban planning in Indian context. Now, what we exactly require into planning. So whenever we plan the city, we need to focus on very important aspects, three aspects: social aspects, economical aspects, and environmental aspects of city, region, and nation. So if we kind of, this red dot shows that uh, there is a sheer need or there is a requirement of having a balance between social, environmental, and economical aspects for the city. And so जैसे for example हम ये imagine कर सकते हैं, if we pay more attention to environmental factors, if we more tend to focus upon environment, your industries will not grow. So automatically it will affect the economy, automatically it will affect the social aspects, that is jobs and everything, balance in the society. If we focus more upon economical aspects कि बहुत सारे industries हमें अपने area में लाने हैं, automatically it will start affecting the environment. Okay, it will start polluting the rivers, nalas, or overall environment of that particular city. So whenever we plan a city, we need to understand there has to be a sheer balance between social, environmental, and economical aspects. So our focus should be in the center of this. Now, what is very basic definition of town planning or urban planning? In simple language, town planning means logical. Understand each word: logical, futuristic arrangement. Okay, so there is a logical, that means there is a scientific base to it, there is some kind of projections also attached to it, that is a futuristic. So whenever you say that my city is planned for next 20 years, means what? You need to project the population for next 20 years, that what is going to be the population, what are going to be their requirements, and how I should put all those requirements in advance with logic into my cities. Okay, so these two words are very important: logical and futuristic arrangement of various components or units of town plans in such a way that the town attains its significance of a living organism. So as we have in our body system, you can imagine yourself that how our body functions. We are living organisms. How our body functions, there are so many different systems. You have respiratory system, you have blood circulation system, nervous system, and muscle system, and digestion system, so on and so forth. So all these systems are working hand in hand. They have their own importance, but still to perform a function, they behave in a cohesive manner, they behave in a comprehensive manner. Okay, so that's how you can compare a living organism or a human being with the city. So where this town plan is applied, it is applied on existing development, when you want new development to happen, and when you want urban renewal. It means when you want to demolish the older, very old areas, and then also construct a new. All these three levels you require urban plans or town plans. So what a town planner requires? Town planner actually requires active imagination. Okay. he should understand all these various needs of the society. So whenever you actually tend to become a town planner, you actually need to understand environmental issues, social issues, economical issues, then land management issues, all these issues, and so many transport issues, so many issues. You need to understand it together, and you need to establish what is going to be a need for the society with very active imagination. Town planner has to carry out researches, he has to prepare layout plans, and final result shall be in such a way that it should be appreciated by all sectors of the society. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि you are focused on only one part of the society, very high income group, only industries, and you are not sort of concentrating on the social aspects. You're not concentrating on the people who are living in the substandard housing. So whenever you have a plan, you need to focus on all the sectors, whether it's transport, environment, or slum redevelopment or industrial development, whatever it is. A well planned town carries out its activities in very normal way, like a living organism. How our body functions very normally, you can actually sort of relate with town plan. So it is basically science plus art, that is town planning. We can in a very simple language, in gist, we can say that. So what are the objectives of urban planning? I'm not going into all these details, but whenever you plan a city, you need to understand how we can enhance the beauty of the city, the aesthetics of the city in various terms. How we can give more convenience in terms of economical, social, and recreational aspects. Uh, all these facilities, how can we provide in a better manner? How conveniently we can give them. How can we focus more upon environment and still achieve the city growth? So that is very interesting. We need to focus upon environment, simultaneously we need to grow the city. And health, nowadays everyone has understood the importance of health. So how we can create healthy cities? How can we provide good amount of parks, playgrounds? Can we avoid or can we reduce upon the pollution aspects, so and so forth? And that's just how you can see nowadays that government has shifted the policy, for example, from non-renewable sources to the electrical sources or renewable sources. So you will see in future all the electrical vehicles running on the streets of India. So that is a one step to consider for the environmental aspects as well as health aspects together. So what are the principles? So after understanding the objectives, we need to understand what are the principles. So whenever you design a town, all these aspects, what you see on the screen, needs to be considered. So you need to have green belts for the cities. There has to be some limit. Nowadays, we can see that there is no limit. You just grow on increasing. There is no barrier. There is no containment to the zone. So we need to introduce buffer zones or green belts into the town planning systems. Many cities nowadays have started incorporating those green belts, which defines the character and which defines the limitation of the cities. Better housing is very important. So we are not just focusing upon slum clearance. That was very old strategy, that you just demolish the slums and you just vacate that area. But nowadays we have SRA schemes, slum redevelopment area schemes. We have all these Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, Rajiv Gandhi Awas Yojana, and Indira Awas Yojana, which actually tends to provide the housing to the people and try to reduce the gap. We also require well distributed public buildings, public and semi-public buildings, including school, colleges, hospitals, and all those facilities. Recreational spaces, equitably distribution is very much required. You also need to protect the environment and provide all these. Nowadays a concept of sport cities have came, that you focus more upon sports. So you tend to provide all these grounds for different sports, and that has become very or we can say USP of those cities. Efficient road system is very much required. Nowadays we see that we don't have plans for metros while planning the roads, and nowadays we can see how the metro is congested, or how metro is confined into the existing roads, and what kind of scenario it has created in Pune city especially. Road systems, transport facilities, zoning is all these factors are very important and in planning any of the urban settlement. So whenever we see different kind of cities, what are the different patterns? So I'm not going into the theory of all these patterns, but you can see that, star pattern, ring and radial pattern, then you have hexagonal patterns, you have gridiron patterns. Sectoral planning is, another aspect. You have circular planning, you have linear planning, so many aspects or so many patterns into the city development. So each one has its own pros and cons. So I think in your academics that will surely get covered, but you need to understand what are the advantages of each of these aspects and how we should plan our cities in better manner. So what is going to be the scope of urban planners in the future that we will understand now? So you can see all these images, what are the emerging trends and what is the need of planners. So what you require, where is the requirement of planner? There is policy making and financing. So you have various policy making like, you have smart cities. So it has its own policy. You have electrical vehicle policy. You have so many international policies related to climate change. So you can work on all these policy or say decision making uh, uh, platforms, including international platforms like United Nations, Asian Development Banks, then you have BRICS and so many other platforms. You have United Habitat. You also have at national level and state level all these policy making things like Niti Aayog is one of the policy making. Then you have NIA, National Institute of Urban Affairs. So all these institutes, you have TCPO making all these rules and regulations and policies and also working upon the finance. You have second very important emerging trend as smart cities. Nowadays, we see that so smart cities not just providing a basic infrastructure to the cities, but to monitor and to control that also in digital manner or in very smart manner. You have all the CCTVs, IoT systems, big data analysis, so on and so forth related to the city affairs. Okay. Nowadays, all the cities are getting converted on GIS platform so that, a city could be very well managed. So like you have building information modeling to manage a building, you will have in future city information modeling. Okay. So in one click, you will get all that, all the data related to cities. The next very important emerging trend is MRTS and BRTS. You have lots of opportunities as a planner into these field. This is very basic requirement into any of the city nowadays. BRT is basically bus rapid transport system and MRTS is mass rapid transport systems. So we are focusing upon the bus transport as well as metro transport. Heritage, culture and tourism management. If someone is more inclined to manage all these things, tourism is a very big industry nowadays in India. How we can promote whatever existing very beautiful monuments, all these heritage cities nowadays we have, how we can protect them, how we can how we can sensitize and how we can make aware all the citizens about our culture, heritage, etc., and increase the tourism. So one of the very big area is that transport management. Obviously, you can become a transport planner. You can develop good amount of roads. You can design the roads specially accommodating different infrastructural requirements, so on and so forth. So there is a lot of opportunity to that. Real estate and land management. So one of the stream of urban planning is also this, that you can decide that how the real estate is going to function and in which area it will grow in future and how you can manage the land. So that is how one of the field is a very interesting field. Smart villages. So it is not only smart cities, but the government is also very pro to smart cities. Okay, sorry, smart villages, where you also have all the solar, wind, and everything into place, and how you can manage very effectively your villages. So that has already been percolated at smart village concept. Then you have a sustainable development. All this is a talk of the town. You have focus more upon all these sustainable aspect in each of the above mentioned streams, I would say. And if you're more inclined towards being engineer, you are also more inclined towards the programming and coding and everything. So you can also go into city management softwares like GIS and so on and so forth, CIMs, everything. And I think I have not mentioned all of that, all the other fields. So you can also go into this field. And what is going to be your role being urban planner into all these fields? So you can become a consultant, you can establish your private practice, and you can become a consultant, you can become a planner in the government. You have definite positions like ADTP, that is assistant director of town planning. You have director of town planning. Up to director of town planning you can go. You require all the planners into various city affairs, so you can be accommodated into corporations or say urban local bodies. And nowadays, I think class 1 cities, class 2 cities are also inviting urban planners as part of their team. You can become a technocrat. You can give the policies to the government. You can become part of the government itself, government system, through giving UPSC and MPSC exams. Then you can become educationist. You can become a social reformer, researcher, activist, resource person for all these specialized areas what we discussed. You can go into legal team also as advocacy and arbitration into the city affairs. So basically you can work on local level, city level, regional level, national and international platforms. So that is the role for the urban planners. And there are so many other opportunities in the career development. I think we have already elaborated on this. So let's understand in detail what is going to be a role for urban planner. Basically, he will discuss with public officials, developers, and public regarding the development plans, policies, land affairs, etc. And he will try to prepare the good plans for the city. He will administer the government plans and policies. He will gather the data, analyze the data, and try to produce various studies over it, various reports over it, conduct fields investigation, review site plans, review drawings, assess the feasibility, present the projects, and stay updated with all these rules and regulations. So all the affairs which are related to the city, he can very well handle that. Uh, I hope sir, I hope we are going with the better speed, or shall we
Yes, sir.
increase, or
Yes, sir.
shall we become very slow?
Sir, it's a very,
It's
we
okay.
can say, nice lecture, and it's going very in a smooth way.
Okay. Thank you, sir. So let's understand. See, all these aspects are very much whatever topics we are discussing is itself is in very depth. We are just sort of touching all these topics. So we need to understand what is the language of maps. When we become a planner, what is going to be the language of maps? And for that purpose, we need to understand few concepts like zoning. Okay. So in simple language, I would tell you that what is zoning? Zoning is basically appropriate allocation of land use. Okay, appropriate allocation of land use. Now, what is the land use? Residential land use, commercial land use, or public, semi-public. You have roads as a land use, or say transport as a land use, so and so forth. Greens and open spaces, public and semi-public. So this is basically land use of the land. Okay, so what is land use of that land for particular purpose. So when we say that it is a open and green land use, matlab kya, that land will be used for some kind of public park, garden, or some kind of sports facilities, or open open ground. It will be for the public use. So that land use is what? Open and green. But what is zoning? Allocation of that particular, kahan rakhna hai, where to put this land use into the city, that is called as zoning. And we tend to focus more upon the appropriate zoning. So what if the zoning wouldn't have been there? अगर हम जोन नहीं करते तो क्या क्या होता था? अगर हम सोचते ही नहीं थे कि चलो ठीक है यार, कहाँ पे भी दे दो, ये ग्रीन स्पेस कहाँ पे भी दे दो, आप हॉस्पिटल रैंडमली ऐड कर दो, रैंडमली आप you put primary school, secondary school, colleges, what would have happened? So big apartment, or all these large apartment would have came near to the small bungalows, or small, casting the shadows and creating a vast disparity. You may have schools which are very much near to the cinema halls. or busy transport junctions. You may have factories which are located at not very appropriate location, and you may have all these obnoxious gases which are spreading across the air in the city, and you will automatically have this unfit living conditions. You may have public amenities as and when provided. चलो भाई आगे 5 साल में हॉस्पिटल की जरूरत पड़ रही, चलो दे दो, यहाँ पे दे दो, एक हॉस्पिटल दे दो. Can we plan our cities like this? We cannot plan our cities very randomly. There has to be some system, there has to be some kind of logic to have better zone arrangement, I would say. So what are the types of zone? In one diagram, I think you will understand what are the types of zones. So you will see that, basic is residential. So almost every city you will observe there is 40 to 50% of the land is allocated for the residential land use. Commercial is again a better chunk, which consumes almost 10 to 15% of the overall city. Mixed land use, we had seen our old city areas, especially the urban and semi-urban areas, in category of mixed use, where you have residential along with commercial majorly, or you may have some other uses together. So it is mixed, means two land uses combined together. Industrial, green and open. Services, services means all kind of services including water supply, drainage, electricity, telecom service. Nowadays you have all these smart infrastructure, CCTVs, IoT systems, and so on and so forth. So all these are part of services. Transport means all kinds of roads, railways. You have integrated transport networks, metros. All these places allocated are called as transport, comes under the transport land use. Water bodies and forest. Okay, you also have light green in terms of agriculture. So every city may have its own language, but this is very basic understanding. So when we say residential, it is yellow color majorly. So you may have 2-3 different types of residential areas. So you can just vary the shade of yellow and create different. So after understanding this diagram, I think so just pay attention on maybe residential or commercial. So you can easily read the plan. So this is a plan of Chandigarh city, whereby you can see that all these light yellow color is basically this land parcel is allocated for residents. Okay, residential use. You can see here also in the legends, residential is basically accommodated here. You may have different color shades into that. Then you have all these blues as commercial areas. All these red and brown or red color is basically public and semi-public, where you will have your universities, you will have schools, you will have your corporation offices, maybe Vidhan Sabha offices, whatever it is. This purple you can easily comprehend. This purple is basically industrial area. So while planning a city, you can put logic, on which side the air is basically traveling and how I should put my industrial areas, how you are protecting. Now blue, you can see all these rivers, ponds, lakes, nalas. You can see here that how they have been earmarked into the plan, and how the green spaces you can see. All the green is basically open space or gardens. Okay, whatever green you see is basically for dark green is forest and light green is planned garden. We can. So I mean to say that when we can read a plan, you can easily identify which land is allocated for which kind of purpose. So I hope it's you can easily. So whenever you will see plans, you please see the legends primarily. So through legends, you can easily understand the plans. Majorly, all these color codes are across the world. They are quite standard. So let's understand how a city gets planned. What are the different scales? What are different hierarchy? What is the different hierarchy level of any of the cities? कैसे बनाते हैं हम प्लान? हमारे जैसे एक एग्जांपल कंसीडर करते हैं. Let's take example of maybe Mumbai. How Mumbai is planned. So Mumbai has a regional plan. Okay, who looks after the regional plan? Regional plan looked after by MMRDA. Okay, Mumbai Metropolitan Regional Development Authority, MMRDA. So that is the authority which looks after a region of Mumbai. So region of Mumbai is not Mumbai city. Okay, region of Mumbai includes Navi Mumbai, the Greater Bombay, Greater Mumbai, Navi Mumbai, Greater Mumbai, Thane, Uran, Panvel, all the JNPT, then Mira Bhayandar up to Virar. All these area has been administered by MMRDA. They have their own boundary of regional development, because there are so many aspects which you cannot tackle at city level. Okay, so when you have transition between say Mira Bhayandar to Mumbai, or say Bhiwandi to Mumbai, how that transport network is going to be established, that is cannot be handled by individual city. That has to be looked at a regional scale. Okay, so all broad level infrastructure and broad level land use activities are generally planned in regional plan. So when you want to propose an airport, so now new airport is coming to Navi Mumbai. There is Naina city which is planned near that. There is JNPT port development. So all these big level decisions are generally taken at regional scale. So also construction of dams, construction of metros, construction of local trains, how it is going to happen, it actually decided at regional scale. What is the second scale? आप जैसे ये बड़ा सबसे बड़ा स्केल है, आपको अभी हर स्केल पे जूम इन करना है, जूम इन, तो आप और फिर छोटी स्केल पे प्लान करते हो. व्हाट इज द सेकंड स्टेज ऑफ प्लानिंग? इट इज डेवलपमेंट प्लान. और ये सिटी का प्लान है ऐसा बोल सकते हैं आप. ठीक है, सो एक आप रीजन लेवल पे प्लान करते हो और दूसरा आप सिटी लेवल पे प्लान्स करते हो. So Greater Mumbai will have its own development plan, Navi Mumbai will have its own development plan, and so on and so forth. So what is going to be the third hierarchy? और zoom करना है हमें सिटी के और अंदर zoom in करना है. So that is zonal development plan. So the city is divided into different zones. For example, let's take example of Pune. Pune has been divided into different zones like Hadapsar, Kothurud, Bibewadi, Lulanagar, Koregaon Park, Kalyani Nagar, so on and so forth. So all these are zones, and you also require very detailed plan for each of the zone. So Hadapsar area will be planned in much detail, but it will have its cognizance from which plan? It will have its cognizance from the development plan. The development plan will have its reference or cognizance from the regional plan. So that's how you go on slowly zooming in into the city plans, where go on adding more details, very small details of providing footpaths, cycle paths, parks, so on and so forth. It will happen at zonal scale. Now this is very typical system. Whatever you can see on my screen is a very typical system followed for city planning. You may have zone plans or you may have nodal development plans. Some cities follow nodal development plan. Like Navi Mumbai, generally it follows a nodal development plan. You have Kharghar node, CBD Belapur, Airoli. All these are nodes. So considering node, you generally plan. What is a node? Node is basically you have a purpose for that node. When we say CBD Belapur, it is Central Business District. Means all the major offices will be located at that particular node. Okay, Airoli, it is all industrial area. So all the X types of industries will be located into Airoli. So that's how you go on planning nodes. Okay, and few cities, actually these arrows are wrong. Zone, node and town planning schemes, they are at same level, but different city have different terminology for it. Town planning schemes. Okay, so you have a third development. Generally Gujarat state follows this town planning scheme mechanism primarily. In Maharashtra, TPS is also followed, but it is followed in bits and pieces. But in Gujarat, it's a detailed approach to look at the town planning schemes. So I hope you understand that regional and development plan is a macro scale, large scale planning, and ZDPs, NDPs, and TPS, they are micro scale or small scale planning. Okay, so I hope I have clarified this. What happens at larger scale and what happens at smaller scale? Is that clear with you? Okay, let me know if you have any
Yes.
queries according. Okay. So this is a very gist. So I am not going into detail of each of the aspect, but you need to understand whenever we plan a city, what are the different stages. चलो decide किया कि हमें PCMC, that is Pimpri Chinchwad Municipal Corporation, city area का हमें क्या बनाना है, नेक्स्ट 20 ईयर्स के लिए डीपी बनाना है. ओके, डेवलपमेंट प्लान हमें बनाना है कि हाउ द पीसीएमसी एरिया विल ग्रो इन नेक्स्ट 20 years. So whenever we prepare plans, they have to be in accordance with the future 20 years from now. Okay, so for that purpose you need to have your problem setting कि मेरे सिटी में अभी कौन से प्रॉब्लम्स है. Okay, what are the problems? You need to identify all those problems. So we have problems related to canals or pollution of nalas. We have problems related to uh, maybe congestion of old city areas. We have problems related to transport. So all these, xyz number of problems you need to identify and define primarily. ठीक है, डिफाइन द ऑब्जेक्टिव. चलो ये प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करना है, व्हाट आर द ऑब्जेक्टिव्स, कैसे करना है, ये प्रॉब्लम्स को सॉल्व हमें कैसे करना है. सो दैट कैन बी प्लान्ड. So for example, PCMC may propose that in future, in say next 10 years or 20 years, all the public transport will be shifted to electrical vehicles. So if that they decide that, what they have to plan in the city plan, they have to plan all these bus stands, they have to plan the charging stations, they have to plan the parking for all these buses, so and so forth. That's how the planning system works. So you identify a problem, you define the objective कि कैसे करना है, and you provide the facilities for the same. So while providing those facilities, what you require data. You can go on different studies, you can survey, you can go on data analysis. You analyze that data, forecast कि चलो आज इतना है, फ्यूचर में कितना होगा. There are statistical models, there are statistical methods to calculate the population or calculate the, or say forecast the employment, industry and urbanization, so on and so forth. So when you understand कि in future, for example, say PCMC's population is 20 lakhs approximately, what is going to be the population in next 20 years? Say it is 35 lakhs. So you need to plan your infrastructure, water requirements, everything. You need to design your plan according to the forecasted number. Fix the priorities. चलो भाई इतने प्रोजेक्ट्स बन रहे हैं इसमें, देर आर सो मेनी प्रॉब्लम्स, और इस पे इतने सारे मुझे प्रोजेक्ट बन रहे हैं, बट कैन आई प्रायोरिटाइज कि फर्स्ट फेज में कौन से करने हैं, सेकेंड फेज में कौन से करने हैं. सो अकॉर्डिंगली यू बेसिकली ट्राई टू फिक्स योर फाइनेंसेस. आप ग्रांट्स ले सकते हो, आप अपने जो भी टैक्सेस कलेक्ट किए हैं कोई कॉर्पोरेशन ने, आप उसमें से पैसा निकाल के वो स्कीम के लिए अप्लाई कर सकते हो. That you require sewage facilities, you require water treatment plants, you require XYZ amount of public buildings to function, so and so forth. तो क्या हो जाएगा ना, वो आप implement कर सकते हो. When you know the priority, when you know the phasing, you can implement it in a better manner. Okay, and after implementation, generally you take feedback, you take reviews कि have we sort of achieved the issue or resolved the problem or not. So you can take that, and again you will have some problems for ready for next development plan. So that's how this cycle actually continues in any of the city planning, which is very typical. Okay, so we had seen that this I had already elaborated that how a city is planned. So you plan a region. Okay, you plan your ring roads, you plan your outer ring roads, you plan your village extensions, you plan all these industrial settlements, you plan connection between two towns, how you plan. So all these are planned at regional scale. This is planned at city scale, that how you can see all these yellow color roads, they are all city roads. But you also can see that this ring road has been taken from this. Okay, so there is a reference to the plan. And then when we zoom in into one of the settlement, you can see very detailed plans. So it happens at 3 levels. Okay, regional, DP level, and it is then nodal or zonal level, local. इसको हम गवर्नमेंट के लैंग्वेज में लोकल एरिया प्लान्स ऐसे भी बोलते हैं. ठीक है, LAPs, लोकल एरिया प्लान्स. So again, I'm going into the different scales now through images or through maps. Okay. So this is very broad hierarchy one. So सबसे पहले हम क्या करते हैं, we prepare a perspective plan. पर्सपेक्टिव वर्ड में ही होता है कॉन्सेप्चुअल प्लान और फ्यूचरिस्टिक प्लान, that is called as a perspective plan. So how you imagine your not only your city or your ward, but you actually think about whole region. Okay, this is Ahmedabad's map. How you envisage, how you conceptualize your Ahmedabad city or Ahmedabad region. So you can see there is a Gandhinagar town, there is Ahmedabad, and you have all these planned industrial nodes. Sanand, which is very famous for nano plant, Kalol, Dehgam, then you have Memdabad, so and so forth. All these industrial towns, so that you can establish your road network connecting those industrial towns. Then you can also plan residential areas near those towns. Okay, so that there is no burden on the parent city, and all these satellite towns can function on their own. So likewise, you prepare different concepts, like you have to plan the river front, so on and so forth. So this is a hierarchy plan, concept plan. After preparing a concept plan, you go into a detailed plan, that is a regional plan. Okay, and mind that this perspective plan or concept plan can also be guided by the international agendas. For example, you have all these climate summits, you have sustainable development goals. So based upon SDGs and Niti Aayog principles, national policies, you can take those policies while deciding this future of the city or a concept of a city development. All those concepts are then finally percolated into a regional plan. You can see all the land uses here. You can see this black boundary is of AMC, that is Ahmedabad Municipal Corporation. So this is a corporation area, but this brown boundary is a regional area. Okay, you can imagine with Pune also. Pune has Pune Municipal Corporation has its own boundary, but PMRDA, that is Pune Metropolitan Regional Development Authority, it has a larger boundary, which actually includes not only PMC and PCMC, but all the Chakan, Rajgurunagar, all these Shikrapur, all these new towns into the picture. So that's how, in regional plan, you can see that this green is agriculture, yellow is all villages, all these small settlements. This purple is industrial area, residential areas. You can easily comprehend that how my city is going to be planned. You also plan road network. Okay, you can plan ring roads, grid iron pattern you can follow for the extension of the roads, how you can connect different highways together, वगैरह वगैरह. You can plan all those into part of road network. That is a hierarchy too. Nowadays cities are also planned in 3 dimension. आजकल ऐसा नहीं है कि आप बस 2D में प्लान देख लिया और सिटी प्लान हो गई. There is called as form based development. Okay, so you decide on the form कि कितना हाइट ये एरिया में मुझे चाहिए, कितना हाइट तक बिल्डिंग यहाँ पे जा सकते हैं, एंड that's how it gets percolated into the development control regulations. So कोई भी एक सिटी, आपको एक सिंपल लैंग्वेज में बताता हूँ. So when you have a city plan, okay, this is a plan, but you also have a report attached to it called as a DCR, that is development control regulations. Okay, so what it defines, which area can be planned in which manner. कहाँ पे आप G+4 जा सकते हो, कहाँ पे आप G+7 जा सकते हो, कहाँ पे G+10 जा सकते हो. So that's how the development is guided based upon the DCR. Okay, so you have a DCR, development control regulations, along with the plan. Okay, and that's how you go ahead. So there is a form based development. You can see brown has higher density and higher height. Orange has less density and less height than this brown, then light orange, and maybe yellow. So you slowly go on decreasing the heights as you go across the city. So this policy can be varied depending on the city. Okay, so Pune city is not promoting a very high rise development into the core area, but nowadays you can see outside the Pune you have all these high rise buildings. So Pune has a different structure. Okay, so in that structure there is a building, there is a landscape, there is a road, and there is a land use. So in different layers you can work for a city. जैसे हम बिल्डिंग कोई भी आप डिजाइन करते हो या प्लान करते हो या इन्विसार्च करते हो, यू हैव डिफरेंट लेवल्स ऑफ द बिल्डिंग, electric system, furnitures, then your plumbing system, so on and so forth. For city also you require all those layers. So you can see the next hierarchy is DP. This is plan of Indore. So development plan envisaged for 21. It has been planned in 2001 for 21. अभी 21 के लिए उनका ऑलरेडी 41 के लिए प्लान रेडी होगा. ठीक है, so that's how you go on planning. You plan your ring roads, you plan your newly, so yellow is basically old residential area and light orange is basically new residential areas. You can see more detailed version of development plan where you have all these plots you can see. So these are all survey numbers. Okay, so you can easily define that this gray is the roads, different hierarchy of roads. Blue is all commercial. This is Gujarat Vidhan Sabha Assembly मंत्रालय ज्याला आपण म्हणतो ते इथे ठेवलेलं आहे. So this is red is public semi public area, purple is residential, sorry, industrial, and light yellow is basically residential. So you can easily read the plan and you can plan. So in future this grid will be extended into the further villages and then all these plans will be prepared. One more example of development plan. Now you can easily read. I have already elaborated purple and yellow and all these language you can easily read. Now what is the fourth hierarchy? It is a zonal development plan. Okay, what is ZDP? This is map of Delhi. Can you see the key plan here? And you will see a triangle here. So the total Delhi area has been divided into different zones. So there are about 28 zones. Okay, so out of those 28 we have detailed further one zone. So for example, this you can see yellow is one zone. Okay, likewise this red is one zone and you can see in detail. So you will see survey numbers, which plot will have which use. तुम्ही एनए जेव्हा करता कुठल्याही प्लॉटचा तेव्हा तुम्हाला यूज असाइन केला जातो. ठीक आहे, नॉन ऍग्रिकल्चरल कन्व्हर्जन जेव्हा आपण करतो तिथे लिहिलेलं असतं हे जागा निवासी वापरासाठी आहे. इट इज फॉर रेसिडेन्शियल यूज. कमर्शियल वापरासाठी आहे किंवा गोडाऊन वापरासाठी आहे. दॅट इज ऑलरेडी डिफाइंड. ओके, so you can see how you plan the road, nalas, all these village settlements, grounds, gardens, etc. And this is basically very easy to implement. Obviously this is you have legends. It is authentic plan or gazetted into the government gazettes. All these signatories are there. Different town planners and secretaries generally sign the plan. One more example again from Delhi itself. So हमने ये triangle देखा पहले. Now you see this C zone. The first was I think H zone and this is C zone. You will see again detail. So that's how you slowly go on detailing. And then architects and civil engineers play a role here. So when you have development of say for example 17 number plot, this client will have its own development. Now he can only develop residential area. So being an architect or civil engineer, you need to plan a residential area here, only residential area, nothing else. So that is already defined. One more example, so I'm not going into the details of that. So this was system generally followed in majorly all the states, but Gujarat has a different system of development that is called as town planning schemes. What is town planning scheme? You can see a DP, development plan, where roads and everything has been already planned. And all these, जैसे Delhi के case में क्या था? We had zones. So in Ahmedabad's case, they call it as town planning scheme area. Okay. So all these zones, subdivided zones, the city has been divided into various zones. And then you plan each zone in detail. Okay. So you can see here that this area, I'll basically detail it out. So this is the zoom in part of that. Okay, so you have a Google image, you can easily relate. Okay, this is the administrative boundary of that particular area. And you have these structure of plots. These are all plots, survey number plots, buildings you can see here. what they generally do, they directly plan in accordance with. So this road is part of the development plan. Okay, but all the smaller roads, they plan on this area itself. Big roads are planned in development plan, and small roads are planned in uh, at TP scheme level. Okay, so while proposing, there is a concept that if you have 100% land, 100% जर जमीन असेल तुमची, तर त्याच्यामध्ये आता इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर आहे का? या जमिनीमध्ये इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर नाहीये ना, वॉटर सप्लाय आहे, लाईट आहे, सीवेज, ड्रेनेज, कुठल्याच फॅसिलिटीज नाहीयेत. तर त्याची जी मार्केट व्हॅल्यू असणार आहे ती एक्स आपण कन्सिडर करू फॉर टाइम बिंग. When we put road, when we put infrastructure, when we put light, water supply, drainage, that value of land increases multifold, खूप जास्त पद्धतीने. तेव्हा x असेल तर it will become 3x or 4x or 5x. Okay, so when we put infrastructure, automatically the land price goes on increasing. Okay, now what model is followed in Gujarat? Generally what they do, 100 एकर समजा जमीन आहे टोटली, ठीक आहे, तर 40 एकर गव्हर्नमेंट स्वतःकडे रिझर्व्ह करून घेतं आणि 60% जमीन ही ओरिजिनल मालकांना परत दिली जाते. ठीक आहे, सो यू विल सी हिअर आउट ऑफ दॅट 40%, ठीक आहे, 40% गव्हर्नमेंटने जमीन घेतली, त्याचं काय काय गव्हर्नमेंट करणार आहे 40%मध्ये? द 40% दे आर प्लॅन फॉर रोड्स, they plan the land bank, that is residential or commercial. You have green space, your public facilities. मग इथे स्कूल प्रपोज करता येईल किंवा पोस्ट ऑफिस प्रपोज करता येईल, हॉस्पिटल प्रपोज करता येईल, सो अँड सो. सो जनरली ते असं डिझाईन करतात. 40% जमीन परत घ्यायची आणि 60% इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर्ड जमीन परत द्यायची. साधी परत नाही द्यायची, इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर टाकून परत द्यायची. तर त्याने काय होतं, त्याला विन विन सिच्युएशन, इट इज कॉल्ड एज विन विन सिच्युएशन इन टाउन प्लॅनिंग लँग्वेज. सो तुम्हाला being owner, you will get infrastructure land, prices will increase, and being government, you will have 40% land reserved for the public. So that's how town planning scheme is followed in Gujarat. And you also have hierarchy 5. Up till now we only discussed zone plans, and we discussed town planning plans, etc. पण आता अजून डिटेल मला जायचं असेल तर काय करावं लागेल? सो यू कॅन सी द हायरार्की 5. Okay, you have this nala which is existing, and then you plan for the nala. Okay, you design. So here the role of urban designers or architects comes into the picture. So you'll see all the detailed drawings of that particular nala, how that get developed. So when we plan in development plan or zone plan, we just color it green. आपण खूप वेगळं डिटेलिंग करणार नाही याच्यामध्ये, ठीक आहे. But when you prepare a project, when we go into the design of this, then this green is not just green color, but it will have roads, facilities, so and so forth. So that is already planned into this. Okay, so section of the canal. So this is a canal, you can see the section. Then it is made for public, and you plan some commercial areas, shops along the nala. So this was the existing scenario, and you can see a proposed scenario. So that's how there is a change. So when you want to implement all the city projects, finally ह्या level पर्यंत तुम्हाला जावं लागेल. ठीक आहे, it is not just to plan की इथे green color टाकून दिला मॅप मध्ये, आपला रोल संपला. It is not like that. You have to implement also those projects. So I hope through pictures it's very clear. Okay, so any issue up to this point?
No, sir. Yes. Okay.
So I think major portion I have already covered. RPDP is very, it is quite in detail. It may require a lot of time.
Yes.
So you can guide us further.
Yes, sir. You can continue as per your convenience and time available with you.
Okay, so I'll just run through the RPDP. I'm not going into the very detail of it because it will be cumbersome for the students again. What is RP and DP? RP is basically regional plan, and DP is development plan. So let's go into the detail of that. We had already seen that there is a, while planning a region, you need environmental, social, and economic balance to achieve the sustainable growth, and what kind of land uses you will plan in the region. uh, Different, broad level land use, farmlands, cities, industrial areas you will plan, railroad network you will plan, transportation hubs, airports, whatever, you can plan here. Infrastructure like dams, expressways, everything you can plan in a region. Military bases, and maybe forest areas also, you can reserve those forest areas. So that's how, while planning a region, you need to have efficient placement of all these land uses together. Okay, so what is the definition of a regional plan? It is basically a plan of development or a redevelopment of a region to make provision for planning the development and use of the land in the overall region. Okay, it is basically uh, planning future or redeveloping whatever you have existing. Now, being a state government, how you can decide a region, how you decide generally a region. So when we say Khandesh region or Marathwada or we say Vidarbha region, how we decide that region? The region is generally decided on similar kind of climatic aspects, similar cultural aspects, similar language, similar, all the social traits. So based upon that, you generally have your regional boundaries set. So being government, you can alter the limits of a region, amalgamate two regions together, or split regions. Okay, when it goes beyond control, you can also split regions into two regions and then prepare two different regional plans for them. Okay, so where this regional plan is available, it is generally available in the district collector's office, district magistrate, ज्याला DM म्हणतो आपण, ठीक आहे, त्यांच्याकडे अवेलेबल असतो, तहसीलदाराकडे पण अवेलेबल असतो, कॉर्पोरेशन एरियाकडे पण तो रिजनल प्लॅन अवेलेबल असतो. So it is open for all. Nowadays it is also available on websites, so it's a public document after publication. So this is the region. Okay, you can see this is Ahmedabad. Orange color all is Ahmedabad. Okay, this is Ahmedabad district, this is Gandhinagar district, Gandhinagar city, Ahmedabad city. So while preparing plan, you generally plan for whole region and not for a particular level. Now, what is development plan? Development plan is a plan for development or redevelopment, okay, of the area under the special planning authority. Now, who is the special planning authority? Every city has its own authorities. So very small cities will have their own corporations planning for the city. When the scale increases, generally you have development authorities. Okay, so MMRDA, then you have, for Jaipur you have Jaipur Development Authority, for Ahmedabad you have Ahmedabad Urban Development Authority, for Bangalore you have Bangalore Development Authority, so and so forth. So generally it does not only consider the corporation area, but beyond the corporation area is generally considered. Jurisdiction is what? The area official administrative boundary which is decided for the planning of the area, and it is always planned in accordance. In accordance means in reference or in conjunction or in relation with the regional plan. It is published in official gazette. What is official gazette? Whenever you publish notification, plans, reports, everything through ministry or through government town planning department, it is considered as official gazette. Okay, then it becomes a public document, and you can comment over it, and you have to follow it also strictly. So the building or planning permission is granted considering the DP. तो डीपी मध्ये जर दिलं असेल तिथे रेसिडेन्शियल लँड यूज येणार आहे, तर तुम्हाला बिल्डिंग रेसिडेन्शियलच प्लॅन करावी लागेल त्या जमिनीवरती. ओके, दॅट इज कंट्रोल्ड. अँड हाऊ इट इज कंट्रोल्ड? इट इज कंट्रोल्ड थ्रू DCR that we already discussed. So I'm not going into objectives. I think more or less we have already defined that what are the issues in the city, and how we have to basically project for the future, forecast for the future, and resolve the issues of the cities at different level. So we have already seen this. This is very important when we say organization. So how the DP or RP is prepared? Who prepares? Okay, so if the government office has that manpower or has that human resource, they will plan. Otherwise, it is given to the private sector. Okay, there are so many companies, consultancy companies, which takes it that tender project. For example, अगर हम डिसाइड करते हैं सोलापुर सिटी के लिए हमें क्या बनाना है, डीपी बनाना है, तो जनरली इट इज नो इफ वी गिव टू द प्राइवेट सेक्टर, इट इज अ टेंडर्ड प्रोजेक्ट. Who takes care of the providing data to that private consultancy firm? It is town planning officer. तो उसको assign किया जाता है ना, you are the officer who will take care of providing the data, managing all coordination between different villages. सपोज आपको प्राइवेट सेक्टर को कोई भी प्लान्स प्रोवाइड नहीं करेंगे, कोई विलेजेस में तलाठी या जो भी है आपके 7/12 के रिकॉर्ड उनको कोई देगा नहीं जब तक टाउन प्लानिंग ऑफिसर का ऑफिशियल परमिशन आपके पास होगा. ठीक है, दैट मीन्स ही हैज टू कोऑर्डिनेट ऑल द स्मॉल लेवल अफेयर्स with the private sector, and that's how private sector will get the data. The private sector has the capacity, they can prepare plans on digital modes, GIS, geographical information system. So like AutoCAD for buildings, you have GIS for say cities. In simple language, GIS basically AutoCAD plus Excel sheet together. So you have data and map together in one software. Then local authority suggestions. So you have corporations, you have nagarpalikas, you have small village authorities. आता पुण्याचं ऐकलं असेल तुम्ही, 28 नवीन विलेजेस पुण्यामध्ये ऍड झाले, तर त्यांचे तुम्हाला सजेशन्स घ्यावे लागणार आहेत. सो सगळ्या ग्रामपंचायती ज्या नवीन ऍड झाल्या आहेत, they are called as local authorities. So they will have consultation with the corporation authority. Okay, and that's how who manages that? ADTP. ADTP is Assistant Director of Town Planning, who is manager. So all these stakeholders will prepare the plan. What happens next? Checking of that plan. प्लॅन झाला प्रिपेअर, लोकांचे सजेशन्स ऑब्जेक्शन्स मागवले, आणि तुम्ही एक फायनल म्हणजे प्री फायनल प्रपोजल वरती आला. हू चेक्स दॅट? डिरेक्टर. डिस्ट्रिक्ट प्लॅनिंग अथॉरिटी असेल, म्हणजे कॉर्पोरेशन ऑफिस मधून कोणी सिनियर असेल, एडीटीपी, मॉडिफिकेशन सजेशन्स, वेगवेगळ्या कमिटीज बसतील त्याच्यावरती. Then chief planning authority, okay, whosoever is the CEO of that authority, he will give suggestions and he will start checking all the small minute details. After checking, it is sanctioned. Okay, who sanctions that? It is generally sanctioned by the chief secretary or deputy director or director of the town planning committee. I'm not saying chief minister personally signs on the document, but he has a stake into the sanctioning. Okay, finally, behalf of chief minister, secretary only signs on the plans. Okay, so that's how any plans is prepared into all these three stages. I hope it's clear, the organization. So I'm not going into the details, but whenever you have a difference between a regional plan and development plan, in simple language, regional plan, all the land uses or whatever you plan, it is at broad level. It is at very broad level. But in development plan, it is in detail. Survey number wise तुम्हाला खूप detail plan इथे करावा लागतो. So that is how it is differentiated. So we'll see different differentiation factors, like इथे transport कसं plan करणार आहे, all highways, expressways, railways, waterways, airports, ह्या सगळ्या मोठ्या गोष्टी, canals, हे सगळं रिजनल लेवलला प्लॅन करायचं. पण स्मॉल लेवलला काय प्लॅन करणार आहे आपण सिटी लेवलला? It is smaller roads, city roads, smaller, in conjunction with highways, parkways, railways, waterways, canals. हे सगळं छोट्या स्केलला, म्हणजे सिटी स्केलला. हे असं प्रत्येक आपण करतो. म्हणजे वॉटर सप्लाय, धरण बांधावं लागेल, हे तुम्हाला रिजनल प्लॅन मध्ये प्लॅन करावं लागेल. पण त्या धरणातून पाणी, वॉटर सप्लाय, त्याचं लाईन कुठून टाकायची, हे सिटी लेवलला प्लॅन करावं लागेल. सो दॅट्स हाऊ these systems works together. So I'm not going into all the details of that, but I hope you will understand the scale. There is a difference of scale. Thank you. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes,
If
sir.
you
It
have
was
any questions, I think I'd be more than happy.
Yes, sir.
I hope
Uh,
it was quite extensive. It's
no, sir,
almost,
no, sir. It
for.
was a very much interesting lecture, and with respect to content as well as your PPT, it was
Thank you, sir.
a
Thank you.
very good and continuous flow of the new information, or the information was very much useful, sir. Thank you.
So
Uh,
I'll be happy to answer questions if
yes,
any.
sir. Students can ask some questions if they have. One question is posted in the chat box regarding the height of building restrictions in different cities.
What is the exactly question? Can
Okay,
you elaborate?
on which factors does height of building is decided? In Latur, my friend did not get permission to build 10-story building.
Okay. So see, government has defined uniform DCR, and there are corporation DCRs again. So generally the height of the building also includes the amount of people who are living there. Okay, that is in simple language called as density. सो किती लोक त्या बिल्डिंग मध्ये राहणार आहेत, किती हाईट वाढवू शकता तुम्ही, तुमच्या रोड्सची कपॅसिटी, तुमच्या इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चरची कपॅसिटी आहे का तेवढी, तेवढे लोक घेण्या एवढी, that we have to decide primarily. Okay, so your corporation needs to provide water supply, drainage, electricity, you have to manage that traffic, everything. So generally height is defined with in terms of road width or availability of infrastructure. Okay, so that's how height is guided. So in Maharashtra especially, we have DCRs for corporations. So each corporation has their own DCR, and all other towns have a uniform DCR. All across Maharashtra it is almost same. So that's how, depending on the density and depending on the road infrastructure, you decide on the height part of the building.
Yes, sir. Gauri, you can unmute yourself and ask the question. Gauri Gowde. Okay. If anyone else has any question, please ask. Either post in chat box or you can directly ask by unmuting yourself. I think there are no questions. The session was very nice, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
And
If any student has question, he can mail me. You can provide my email ID. I'll be more than happy to answer all the questions.
yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, students. Thank you. I thank Department of Civil Engineering HOD, principal, and DG Patil sir. He is my friend also. And I thank all the students for being very patient throughout the lecture. Thank you very much.
सर महत्वाचं म्हणजे अजिबात म्हणजे असं बोर किंवा काय वाटलं नाही. भरपूर इन्फॉर्मेशनचा फ्लो कंटिन्युअसली चालू होता. अँड that is actually our area. But students also, I means confirm that स्टुडंटला सुद्धा पाहताना ते खूप असं मस्त वाटलंय. काहीतरी सिरियली आपण काहीतरी पाहत आहोत, ऐकत आहोत. And
See, each of these topics are different detailed lectures in themselves. So our intention was to understand what is urban planning at broad level,
yes,
and what is the role of urban planner. So that was the agenda for this session. Generally, all these, RP itself is a detailed topic. DP itself is very detailed topic. But nice that students have enjoyed the presentation.
yes, sir. And even for them at the UG level, they have little introductory part only.
Yes.
Actually, this is also a good initiative, or we can say good lecture that motivate them for such different areas, that is the urban planning or architecture as well as the town planning. त्यांना थोडक्यात इंट्रोडक्शन जरी मिळालं तरी त्यांना आता पुढे विषय आहेत. म्हणजे त्यामध्ये एक ऑनर कोर्स थर्ड इयरला सुरू झालेला आहे रिलेटेड टू आर्किटेक्चर अँड टाउन प्लॅनिंग. त्यांना फायनल इयरला एक इलेक्टिव्ह सब्जेक्ट आहे आर्किटेक्चर अँड टाउन प्लॅनिंग,
राईट,
जो आता नवीन सिलेबसमध्ये थर्ड इयरला गेलेला आहे. तर त्यामधून त्यांना बऱ्याच गोष्टी कळतात. परंतु आपण बोललो तसंच आहे की बऱ्याच गोष्टी ह्या ब्रॉड लेवलला आहेत. इन वन सब्जेक्ट देर आर मेनी सब्जेक्ट्स. म्हणजे एका सब्जेक्टमध्येच लँडस्केपिंग पण आहे, अर्बन रिन्युअल पण आहे, डेव्हलपमेंट प्लॅन आहे, रिजनल प्लॅन
So
आहे.
this is giving a gist of overall. It
येस
is
सर,
going overall picture of the scene.
येस सर. पण त्यांना ह्या लेवलला थोडंसं इंट्रोडक्शन जरी मिळालं तरी पुढे जाऊन ते या फील्डमध्ये काम करू शकतात किंवा
Right.
हायर एज्युकेशन घेऊ शकतात किंवा त्या पद्धतीने पुढे त्यांचे इंटरेस्ट क्रिएट होतात आणि बेसिक कन्सेप्ट थोडेसे क्लिअर झाले
Right.
तर त्यांना ते अवघड वाटणार नाही पुढे जाऊन. म्हणजे जसं की टाउन प्लॅनिंग मध्ये एंट्री करायची आहे किंवा
Right.
हायर एज्युकेशन घ्यायचं आहे, कुठल्या एक्झाम द्यायच्या आहे, तर त्यावेळेस त्यांना ते सोपं पडू शकतं. म्हणजे
So I'll be more than happy to connect anytime with the institute as well as with the students. Okay.
येस सर, येस सर.
Yes. Thank you so much for giving
तर
me the
एक
opportunity.
मला एक क्वेश्चन विचारायचा होता थोडासा.
हा.
तुम्ही प्रॅक्टिकली बऱ्याच सिटीज वगैरे बघता, म्हणजे न्यू टाउन्स किंवा तुमच्या व्हिजिट्स भरपूर असतात, तर त्या पद्धतीने त्यावरती काय भाष्य करू शकाल तुम्ही की मुलांसाठी की प्रॅक्टिकली बाहेरच्या वेल प्लॅन सिटीज पाहिल्यानंतर वगैरे तुमचे एक्सपिरियन्सेस थोडासा फरक पडतो आर्किटेक्चर बॅकग्राऊंड आणि सिव्हिल इंजिनिअरिंग बॅकग्राऊंड मध्ये?
Right. So are we comparing with Indian cities or abroad cities?
एनी सर, म्हणजे तुम्ही ज्या व्हिजिट केल्या असतील किंवा इन
Right.
जनरल यू कॅन टॉक. येस.
Yes. So we have visited very the abroad cities, international cities also. There is a difference between our system and their system. Ours is quite democratic. We have to follow, we have to take opinion of each and every stakeholder, right from a small a small community to maybe the government or the CM and whatnot, PM and whatnot. All these people have their own stake into the planning, and that's how we have democratic setup in our town planning system. That is major difference. So what happens, it gives social justice to all the stakeholders, that their opinions are heard into the, or say while preparing the plans. But what is this disadvantage of it? It is time consuming process. You have to invite subject suggestions, objections, you have to document all those things and then go ahead. What happens in abroad cities, there are suggestions and objections are invited, but they are fast paced in terms of technology, and there is in democratic setup they do have democratic setup, and some cities also have monarchical setup. Okay, one man army, that's how they function. So when, for example, Gulf countries, when we say about Dubai or Abu Dhabi or any of the cities, there is one man show. They decide that we need XYZ amount of infrastructure within 5 years, and they have to they go accordingly. So there is a difference between all these things. So there is a difference of space, that is speed of development, and there is a difference between uh, the people, or say community participation, I would say, how the community is participating into the planning process. The second glitch is that when we have so many stakeholders, so एक सिटी आप प्लान कर रहे हो तो आपको रेलवेज के साथ भी डील करना है, आपको एनवायरमेंटल मिनिस्ट्री के साथ भी डील करना है, ट्रांसपोर्ट मिनिस्ट्री के साथ डील करना है, अर्बन हाउसिंग के साथ डील करना है, आपको फाइनेंस मिनिस्ट्री के साथ डील करना है, स्टैटिस्टिकल मिनिस्ट्री के साथ डील करना है. देयर आर सो मेनी स्टेक होल्डर्स इनटू द पिक्चर. The major issue is coordination of all these stakeholders together. They have to think in one direction with one vision, and they have to move forward. Now यहाँ पे वो थोड़ा सा issue है, there is glitch in between. So that's a major difference between the cities which are planned abroad and in India.
Yes sir, definitely.
Time consuming, and lack of coordination between all these agencies.
Namrata, you can ask your question.
Sir, I do not want to ask question. From student side, I want to present thank you this for today's lecture, because it is very informative to us, and it give little bit sympathy for us that we do not go for IT sector for job. Harshad sir very give detailed information that we have to do a lot in our core branches, and today's section is very useful for us. Thank you, sir, for today's lecture.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, it's up to you whether you are really interested to go in a planning or civil engineering profession or in IT. So preferences are with you only, but you have to understand all these processes thoroughly and apply all the logics or the principles, and you have to be innovative. You have to implement all these processes in a decent manner to become successful. थोडंसं एक्सपर्टाईज मिळवण्यासाठी सर काय म्हणजे कुठले सॉफ्टवेअर्स वगैरे खास प्लॅनिंगसाठी आपल्याला सध्याला किंवा इन फ्युचर असायला पाहिजेत म्हणजे एक्सपर्टाईज आपल्याला लागेल.
No, I think the trend is going to be all cities based. City management is very tedious for the government. Sitting in one office and knowing that what is happening on that particular plot in that particular area is very difficult. So that's how the government is changing or say shifting to GIS, that is Geographical Information System, which is a real-time system, which is which you have control over it, and which the data can be easily got in one single click. ऑस्ट्रेलियामध्ये सगळ्या सिटीज या GIS वरती प्लॅन्ड आहेत आणि त्यांच्या अथॉरिटीला बसल्या जागी कळतं की ती प्रॉपर्टी कोणाची आहे, त्याचे प्रॉपर्टीचे हँडओव्हर कधी झालंय, काय झालंय, त्याचा एरिया किती आहे, तिथे वॉटर सप्लाय किती कपॅसिटीचा जातो, गॅस कनेक्शन आहे का नाही, हे सगळं एका क्लिकवर एका कम्प्युटरवर कळतं तुम्हाला. We have visited Naya Raipur. Naya Raipur
Yes, sir.
has been planned, and it is actually based upon all these new ideas, how digitally you can manage. So that commissioner shown us within single click on laptop, he controlled overall city lights. त्याने ऑफ केल्या, म्हणजे मध्यम केल्या आणि बंद केल्या, म्हणजे सॉरी चालू केल्या, या सगळ्या तिन्ही प्रोसेसेस within single click he has done it. I mean to say that there is the future is of smart cities, the future is of GIS based data information system, data based modeling, and that's how cities will be managed in future, and not very typically we have all these paper plans and all these systems. They will slowly get vanished, and you will have all these new systems in place.
Yes, sir. We must visit well-planned cities also from India as well as some abroad. I think your class or your department has visited Dubai also, no?
Yes. We had seen 3-4 cities in Emirates.
Yes, sir. If any question from student side, or else we can stop. Thank you, Raisoni sir,
Thank
for
you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so
sharing
much.
your valuable time as well as knowledge and motivating our students towards this profession, urban planning. And it is going to be a helpful session for students
I hope.
as a beginner to enter in this profession.
Yes, my best regards to all the students. Best wishes to the students and faculty also. Thank you, sir. Thank you
Yes,
so
sir.
much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes.
Have a good day.
Same to you, sir.